Good Friday, everybody. It's a good Friday. This is the Friday that they killed Jesus, I think. Or, I don't know. Like, he ate dinner and then he was like, hey, what's up, guys? And then they're like, get him! So, I totally recommend the DATS version 3. That's the latest woofer tester. I still have the old woofer tester 3 because I use an XP machine, whatever. It's the same thing. There's a link in the description if you want to buy one. Last time I checked, they were out on Amazon, but you can check directly with Parts Express if you want to pick one up. I highly recommend it. That way you and I can have a better conversation about things. A lot of you guys that don't have them, not that I'm saying that you're poor, what I'm saying is that you're not helping enough people so that we can have this conversation. So, but one of the things that's great is you can try a sample. Like I'm trying this audio pipe 4x10. 4x10s are pretty quirky. The GM used them for a couple years in the late or mid to late 80s and some of the early 90s in like Cadillacs, Monte Carlos, a couple other vehicles like that. I like to keep some on hand. This one is actually pretty gnarly. I really like it. It's got a very stiff polycone and a rubber surround, which is very nice. I picked these up from Wholesale House, and they're effective and good enough. I was really surprised at the FS. The FS is 109. So again, you want to go an octave up, about 200 hertz at least. You can go a little bit higher if you want to get a little more scream out of them without a lot of overheating problems. Again, excursion is what kills the subwoofers, clipping, all that kind of stuff, being out of the gap. So if there's more excursion, you're going to run into that trouble sooner when you push the limits. So I would actually recommend maybe a 400 hertz crossover. Again, it depends on what your subwoofer is crossed over. If this is only this and the front speakers are the only thing you got, just use a 100 microfarad cap, which would put it at 200 hertz, which is fine. So, but now I know these are my go-to 4x10s. Not that I sell a lot of these, but occasionally I get somebody that comes in, or somebody that they just need a good speaker that fits in a weird place. These are also good for that, and these are just standard 4 ohm. So, but I like them, and I recommend you guys experiment with products to debadge. Sometimes, like I ordered this one. This is the audio pipe. These are some samples I just ordered from Wholesale House. They had cleaned house and gotten all new reps, and they do a lot online, and their online presence is much, much better now. I had been dealing with them for, gosh, probably 20 years now. And my rep, Michelle Crick, was fucking awesome. Shout out to Michelle. She ended up finding some weirdo and marrying him. She didn't marry me, but she was great, and she always found really good deals for me like this. This is the audio pipe. What is this? ATR 4053. Now, just a note, a little warning to you guys. When you find a product like this, stock up on it. When you find it and you like it, stock up on it because you never know when it's going to stop production. And it can help you make a lot of money. Even if this is badged, like this one, they did the laser scribe on that one. That's not bad. You don't have to have, like even if you mount it like up or something like that, it's just AP. It's not that big a deal. Now, if it has that stupid pipe on it, yeah, it's kind of a problem. American Base did the same thing. A lot of the American Base products I like to rebadge or debadge. Bob did the laser scribe on these as well. Oh, I forgot to sweep those. Let me tell you these because they're all loaded in my head, which was this was the original audio pipe one that I really liked because there was 0 badging on it. Yeah, and if you notice, it's a little different. This is more of a matte finish. This is more of a shiny finish. And these are actually, they're actually just small speakers that you're using as tweeters. So the FS on this one was 500 hertz. This one is 300 hertz, which is the newer one, which you see you got a little bit of badging, and then they got the imprint on there. Again, this is little cup. They switched to spades. This one had the little spring terminals, which I think are nicer, a little bit better. You can only put like 18 gauge, maybe 16 gauge in there, but again, it's fine. And it's got this really nice finish ring. Let me pull that off real quick. That's really nice when you're doing a flush mount installation. Great for motorcycles, things like that. That goes in there. And then they include a 3.3 microfarad, which is pretty good. What's the voltage on it? 100 volts, that's good. You can get away with 50 volt ones. Some guys I've seen pop them. The best ones are the Mylar ones because they're like 400 volt. And again, the higher the voltage, it just handles more power and it just performs better. Again, it's sort of like a pass band of performance, like a subwoofer or anything else. Within a certain power range, it's great, and then you go on that beyond that, and it fucking sucks. And this is a piece of shit. No, it's not a piece of shit. You're just using it out of its parameter. So these were from Lanzar, the old Opti drive series. I really liked these too. These have a bit of a higher FS, about 1560. So you can cross them up at 3K, 4K, 5K, stuff like that. And they just have a good finish. I think they were pretty easy to debadge. I keep them on the shelf debadged. This one is actually a micro speaker as well. This one is the SQ05T, which I guess is a 1/2 inch dome. And then it has looked like a glass. I don't know if they put the tweeter protection inside of there and it glows when you overload it, but it seems to be plastic or glass. I'm going to guess plastic. And then maybe it glows, I don't know. But these are really good for motorcycles as well. And these are just a generic, there's no badging on the front of it. You can debadge, that's not too bad, because that's some weird part number. You want to take that off, definitely. And then it's your secret, and then you can sell them for as much as like Rockford Fosgate does. In fact, a lot of times Rockford Fosgate or whoever, MTX, some name brand, will buy from this, they'll buy the same fucking tweeter. In fact, Audio Legion, actually, they're out now, but they had a black zinc version, which was really nice. Again, they probably just put the sticker on the back and that was it. So you remove the sticker and then it's debadged and then you can sell it for whatever you want. And you don't have people looking it up and going, you're selling me American base sucks. Or these are on Amazon for $30. Why you charge me $100? Well, because you're in the store or you're in their location and you've already done the research on these, right? I'm helping you, but you really need to do your own research on products like this. I'm not going to be here forever. I'm not going to be doing these forever. So you guys got to do your own research, have your own machines so that you can know for yourself. And these deals are just available and out there. It's up to you to go find them. Another one that I got off, this one was off of Amazon. These are 0 gauge to 0 gauge couplers. I found these to be actually cheaper and better than some of the ones that are used for like how do you say, industrial applications. Not that these are for car audio, not that they know anything. It's just a piece of machined, probably brass, hopefully copper and things like that. And then what was cool is that they came with little extra set screws, the wrench, and then some heat shrink that you can add to it. That was kind of cool. Here was another one. This is the double, you guys like to DP, double penetration on your amps. This was good thing from Audio Pipe that you can use for, what do you call it? Yeah, you guys like to double up on your power for some reason. It's like, if you just use copper and it's short, like your amplifier is close to the back battery bank, then you're fine. You don't need to double up. But if you want to, I guess you can. Like, I don't need to double penetrate your mom. But if it's me and my brother, then yeah, we're going to double penetrate your mom. Either front and back, or, we're going to touch dicks in there. But, I wanted to go through, let me sweep these real quick so I can know what these are. I'm going to pause. Now, when you're sweeping on a tweeter, what you want to do is just not block it. You just don't want to, like, because the air wave in front of it, the wave that it's creating, sometimes gets reflected back and it can cause things. You also want it to be pretty quiet because this diaphragm will pick up a lot of high frequency noise. I do have fan noise here that you can probably hear. It's not going to be that big a deal, so. Pretty high on that one. Yep, 2647. So again, you want to have that one octave up, which is about 5K, 6K. This one comes with a Mylar tweeter. You can cross these up at like 10K. Again, remember that the slope is like, it's only 6 dB per octave, so it's not super steep. So you can actually go an octave above. Yeah, they did a 1.5. So that's going to be about 10K, 15K, something like that. You can do a smaller one, like a 3.3. Again, going on the standard that these are 4 ohm. It doesn't say 4 ohm anywhere on it, but I can pretty much guess it's going to be 4 ohm. ATR 4053. Again, these are good for DJs, outdoor use, marine, anywhere where it's not inside of a car. Otherwise, they're face melters. They make you bleed. Your ears bleed. They're too loud, especially if you're using them passively. This is what the specs say. 4 ohms, CCAW, 103 sensitivity. Says it plays from 4K to 20K, which of course is not true, what we just found out. Assuming they're crossing it up at 1 octave above it, so that shows the SPL. Well, let's see, 2K, 3K, 4K. So you can cross it up about 3K pretty safely. See where the slope starts? See the decay? I'll show you. You want to use it like that. Everything to the right is good. Everything to the left is shit. And so this is 1K, 3K, 4K, 5K. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. See? If you want to be safer, go up an octave, all that kind of stuff. This thing is pretty stout though, and it has a big lens that is metal. And so that helps with power handling a little bit as well. Big ferrite. Again, also good with thermal mass. These only come in singles. They were a little expensive, but again, basically on all of this stuff, you want to at least double your money on your investments. Even if somebody goes nitpicks and you go, well, look, it's here, it's available, it's convenient. Well, it's 10 cents cheaper on Amazon. Well, then go buy it on Amazon. It's a little bit of a hot chick sell where you're just like, well, I'm hot. If you want me, fuck me. But if you don't, fucking go away. Take it or leave it kind of thing. Sometimes you got to be tough. I mean, when you're super hungry, the problem, when you're super hungry and then you're desperate, a lot of guys will instinctively pick up on that, and they get a little predatory, and then they'll come in for a kill and they're like, wow, you know, if he'll give it to me for half off, he'll give it to me for free. And you'll see a lot of ugliness come out in people when they try to get stuff for free. Oh, they included a resistor. I'm not sure why they included a resistor. I'm not a big fan of using resistors. Oh, it came with Mylar caps. That's cool. And those are 3.3 microfarad, 100 volt Mylars. Again, especially for motorcycle stuff, I would recommend at least a 200 volt, if not a 400 volt Mylar cap. Look for industrial closeouts like BG Micro, not necessarily Parts Express, because Parts Express knows that people use them for audio, but you want to find them at like an electronics distribution or clearance. Apex Jr. is also good. You want to buy from places that either don't know what they're selling or are nice. When they know what they have and they know they can leverage you, that's what a audio shop is, right? So, and you're being the audio shop, all you have to do is just be cheaper than the other guy, you know, even by 10 or 15%, and you'll make the sale. A lot of people don't want to, you know, they want to get everything in one spot, that kind of thing. And if you're nice or if you're hot, they will just go with you, and that's how you get a sale. Sometimes I get sympathy sales. I'm not a real big fan of that, but I'm like, whatever. I'll worry about that later on my deathbed. Somebody wanted to look at these. I told them about these rings. I like this one with the inner bezel. They have it in 6.5. It's $6. Let me zoom in on that. $6 a pair. And these are for 3/4 inch, and they have like a little thin piece of wood that fits in there that you can wrap the screen mesh grill cloth over, and then there's just enough tolerance so that you can just slip it in there, or you can use neo magnets or even Velcro to kind of keep it in place. But those are great. Parts Express, Wholesale House in general is great. Make sure, again, get an LLC just to get it out of the way. How you file taxes is up to you. I don't want to get into that with you, but you need to get an LLC and a business license. I hate to use the word license, but again, this is their game, and if you're going to play their game, play it well, and know the rules, and don't let them fucking get on you. And if anybody needs help, like fucking call me or text me. Actually, don't call me. Text me, and just like I can help you do things. Again, I try to point you in the right direction with some of my TikTok people that just say, like, if you ever go to court, just try it. Just fucking try it. Like, if for a ticket or whatever, you just say, on the record, I don't understand. I don't accept, and I don't consent to any of this. And then just keep saying that over and over again, because they need those 3 things in order to fucking bust your nuts. And so and then what you can do is ask for your ADA rep, and they go, well, what's your disability? You go, look, I don't understand you guys. You guys are all lawyers. I don't understand legalese. I'm basically retarded. I need ADA assistance. And at least what that does is it gets you a lawyer for being disabled. And you don't know legalese, so you are automatically disabled compared to these other people. These people are trained sharks there to manipulate you and harvest your life, your hard work. And they do that in the form of fines and all kinds of other bullshit. So, but again, and you can do this with cops too. Again, just experiment. There's a couple times where I experimented where I didn't even want to sign. And they called out like the helicopter. The helicopter was above me. Fucking cops were at the end of the street. You know, they were like, I don't know where this is going to go. And, but again, it's a really good story. You didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't sign the ticket. So, but if you know what to say, sometimes that helps. And so then later on, they'll send you an invite, an informal invite. They won't even, some sort of, invitation to court. And then that's when you can show up and just basically say your truth, which is that you don't know what you're talking about and you don't know what's going on, which again, you don't. And then they'll say, well, you don't need a lawyer because we're not going to push for jail time. And you go, that's irrelevant. That has no bearing on anything. I am retarded. I don't know what's going on. Ask for help, plead for help. So again, wholesale house is really good for some stuff. Like this is a really great deal, but the shipping is going to kill you. So $30 for that, and you sell it for $100. That's a really good deal. This is actually a really good deal. You can't find these for any less than about $54 on Amazon. So you don't want to just buy one pair. You want to buy like 10 pairs, something like that. Spend a little money. These are even $10 a pair. That's killer. Again, this is Q-Power. Q-Power, you can actually order direct. They are out of Texas, I believe. They want you to order a pallet worth. So at least a pallet worth, and then it's going to be about $2 or $3, even $400 for shipping on that. Again, you want to order a lot of stuff from them at once. If you just need like under 10 pair or even just 10 pair, just order from Wholesale House, and then you're going to take it on the chin for UPS shipping. So, but again, this is a great thing to just breeze through. If you have an LLC, you let them know, and you have your TPT license, which is again, it's a permission from the government in order to make money, which is the dumbest thing. It's a total scam, but I'll show you about how that. They sell Teraamps. Again, a lot of times you're not going to find these any cheaper. You'll find them cheaper on Amazon a lot of times. So you just want to make sure you go through your options. That's why I found the best way to go is to debadge stuff. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about was the Alibaba thing. So one of the reasons why I push debadging so hard is because you're going to run into the same problem every time. You're like, hey, my people want JL Audio and they want Rockford Fosgate. And then, so if you go, okay, I can be a dealer, or I'm going to buy from a distributor or something like that does sell, low-end Rockford Prime or JL, whatever. They had some other weird name. It was like TMI or something like that. I don't know what it was. But it was some distributor-based electronics brand that JL sold, and then also Rockford sells. One of the things that happens is it pisses off their dealers. So the dealers are really unhappy about that stuff. So they tend to not do that. They tend to own a second brand, like Rockford owns Lightning. And so they'll put Lightning, that's what they did with Walmart when they got the Fast and the Furious tie-in. They didn't put Rockford stuff in Walmart, but Rockford Corporation put Lightning Audio. And that was the Bolt series, and they came in red or yellow. It was kind of gay. It was like, Ronald McDonald colors, but whatever. It was the Bolt series, and they put it in there, and it was in there. They made a lot of money, but they could have made more money had they really just said, look, we like to make money. Here's a bunch of, low-end product. And that's what people do now. That's what Kicker does. Kicker is all in Walmart. Again, dude, would you say no to $100,000 a month every month for the length of the contract? Fuck yeah. So, but that's the problem you're going to find if you're going to be a reseller, is that if you take on a brand like Rockford Fosgate, your margins are going to be nothing, virtually nothing. This happened here, Rabati and Sons over on 31st Avenue in Thomas. They They were a longtime Rockford Fosgate dealer. Rockford is, of course, local. And they were selling so much equipment to dipshit out there at Slangin Sound and Tint. They were actually selling it for cheaper than Rabati & Sons could buy it. And they're supposed to be wholesale. They're supposed to be able to, you know, like a dealer, basically. And so they go, fuck you. We're not going to carry Rockford Fosgate anymore. And Slangin, I think, is still the largest, most high-volume Rockford Fosgate dealer in the world. And they also sell Sundown now, too. And again, those guys are what eats up little guys. And I'm not... Big guys are different. You can make $100,000 commitment to Sundown or Rockford Fosgate or whoever. Good job. Good for you. You should not be watching my fucking videos because you're rich. Get the fuck out of here. These are for poor people. These are for people that want to come up, people from the underground, people that want to work part-time, make a little money on the weekends, and make your life better. Making an extra $1,000 a month is going to really change your life. And plus you get to do fucking cool shit and deal with this kind of stuff, which you want to deal with anyway, right? A lot of this is, we watched the Brooke Shields documentary last night on Hulu, which is actually pretty great. It's a two-parter. But what you're really doing is you're for lack of a better word, you're grooming, you're grooming the audio to figure out what you want. See? And so this gives you an excuse to buy stuff. And then, so even if you only make $5 on flipping something, you got to sample it and you got to figure out, is this a good thing to rebadge? And then you make this your whatever GONZO tweeter. I've done the same thing. I've been doing it for 20 years. So luckily now I can go straight to China and order the stuff. You guys can't, but, and that's why I'm teaching you how to do this. I actually need an army of you guys out there being dealers that aren't, you know, sucking on the balls of Sundown or whoever. So there you go, Sundown and Wholesale House. And again, the margins are not great. Protected territories available. That means you got to do a big buy-in. A lot of times in Wholesale House, like here, see, it says available only in Ohio, Michigan, West Virginia, and Western Pennsylvania. And so that's the Polk Audio, which is, who is it? DEI, which is Directed Electronics. They own Polk Audio now. And you can only buy in those things because what a Wholesale House has done is they've committed to buying enough volume to secure those territories. And they do that a lot. So there's a lot of ones. Again, territorial restrictions may apply for audio pipe. And you may not be able to buy it in your area. That's all. Same with Orion. I was talking to one of the reps. They did the Z Street amps for them. And because I actually talked to my rep about, I said, why don't you guys basically take my idea, which is to import blank audio and then sell it to small shade tree installers, small shops. And he's like, yeah, we got Orion's Z Street. I'm like, no. Zero brand. No brand. Let the end user or the small dealer brand the equipment. And they don't get it. They don't understand. They're like, why would anybody buy a generic amp? I'm like, because the dealer is saying this is a good amp and they're standing behind it, right? Because that's how most sales are. It's a local sale. You go in there, you to your audio wizard or whatever the fuck, and the audio wizard knows more than the customer. And so the customer trusts him. And that's what I've been teaching you guys to do. But people like, what's his name? Fucking Andrew goes out and molests the customer. And the customer, I told you that guy Tanner, that fucking weirdo redhead, he would go back and forth and he would say, well, the internet says this and Andrew says this. And I'm like, these guys can't think for themselves. They can't create their own opinion. Which, by the way, again, is a little tie-in to the Brooke Shields thing on Hulu. I highly recommend it. It's fascinating to see such a beautiful girl be so, naive. And then her mom helped make a living keeping her naive like that, being super, super pretty and super, super naive. But that helped sell a lot of products and get her a lot of jobs. And it wasn't until like in her 20s when she dated Dean Cain at Princeton, and then he popped her cherry, and then she tells that story. It was funny though. It was like that's it. That's what everybody's making a big deal about. Dude, it's kind of creepy. Like the way that the guys were like talk show hosts were Like, well, you're such a pretty girl. I can't believe you're a virgin. It's like, why are we talking about her sex life on television like that? That's super creepy, dude. And none of that it would be acceptable today, of course. But it's definitely telling about the time and things like that of when it wasn't appropriate. It was never appropriate. It was accepted and part of the thing. Some stuff, again, do your homework. Sometimes you'll find these X-Scorpion. I like them a lot. Again, you have to know what you're buying. Some stuff is going to be overpriced. Some stuff you can find on Amazon. Sometimes it will take you 6 weeks because they're shipping directly from China. But again, it's fine. Here is the remote bass knob. We sell this for half that price under the Recoil brand. This is the DS18 version. I just used these today. Let me show you these. Who is this? Audio pipe. That's audio. Again, it'll be a generic. There you go. The Stinger. It's actually Stinger brand, and it's only $349 for a reducer. That is killer. I had to buy. I used to have to buy at least 200 pieces from MTX in order to get that. They had a brand. I think it was called CA4, if I remember that right. And it was just a generic brand. It was like, these were really cool because they were matte. And I would buy them for $3 each, and then I'd sell them for probably $20 a pair at the time. And this was before a lot of that. This is before Alibaba and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to show you this too. This is what I did today. I finished this up for Mr. Smith out of Chicago. I got this local. These are 65 amp hour. Let's see if I can open this with one hand. I don't think I can. Fuck, let me put the phone down. All right, so it's so funny too, because I want to call these Lightning Audio because they're the same as the Lightning Audio ones. But Larry Van Sickle there at Recoil has been having his company Edge make them for what, since '99, so 23 years now. And now they sell them under the Recoil brand. So I like these because they have the little, this is a removable bolt. So you can do ring terminals to this. And for this indicator, what I did was I took a 0 gauge ring terminal boot, and then I just trimmed it. And so then I put a lock washer and then a flat washer. These are stainless. I use these with the side post batteries. All you need to do, instead of buying these, don't buy these for the battery. Don't do that. Buy just like 100 piece of, here, let me show you. Fuck. Sometimes you guys get weird when I describe something. I don't know what that is. You get bad imagination. So I buy 3 sizes. They only come in 3 sizes. And I forget what the thread on these is. I want to say 5/16 or 3/8. This is probably what, inch and a quarter, depending on how you measure it. I get the long ones, I get the medium ones, and then I get the shorties. See? And then I get the block washers, see? Split washer. You can also do a star washer. I've been using star washers lately. I kind of like them better because they bite into stuff. And then also the flat washers. So, and I got these local here from Copper State, nut and bolt. You can just buy them off Amazon or whatever. Or look for China. Those are stainless, by the way. You don't want to use regular hardware for batteries, just because they're high current and they're exposed to the elements, and sometimes these go in marine applications, things like that. So, but yeah, that's what I did with a. Ouch, it's hurting. Nope, it's not gonna pop. All right, so we take this off. There it is, real simple. You can see the inside. I didn't have the right nut, so I found the thread is the same as the wing nut. I can tell you that threading. I have it because I bought it from Copper State and bolt. You guys can buy from Copper State as well. It's a 3/8 by 16 thread, so 16 threads per inch. It's a wing nut. You can get these in stainless, but I just got the zinc ones. They're fine. So, but on these, sometimes on these wing nuts, it'll have like a you see it on like a cup nut where it's slightly cupped or it has fins in it. to sort of create as a like a locking mechanism. These I don't think that have, but I went ahead and doubled up on the lock nut so that I could have room to flip the terminal to make a really close termination. So now you can see it a little better on there. You can zoom, whatever. Pause, you can see it. And then to hold the wing nut, I just used a pair of pliers. You can see a little bit of teeth marks on there. And then on the outside, I used, it was a 3/4 inch ratchet that just slides over that, and it's easy. This one, I liked the smaller format of mini A&L, so I used a mini A&L, and then what I did was I doubled up 2 150 amp fuses. I showed you the guys that hack before, where you, let me show you. You take this and then you pull off the 2 pieces of plastic on the sides. So focus, 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 focus. There we go. See 150 amp, and then you can just pull those 2 pieces of plastic off. You can use like 2 pair of pliers. It pulls it off, and then what you have left is a piece of metal that melts at a very specific temperature when a certain amount of current is passed through it. Typically that's, you know, it's going to be slightly over 150 amps, probably 175 amps, and for a number of seconds. They're all rated time-based and stuff like that. And if you're not sure, stick to like 200 amps, 250 amps. When you're fusing a battery though, you want to have it a little high because it is going to draw quite a bit of current and you don't want to have to take it apart. This one uses a strap system. These are basic. Sorry, let me show you the cells. These are 65 amp hour. I got them local. The guy ended up selling me 2 more, and he sold chargers too. He included chargers. These are all single cell chargers, which I'm not a fan of. I like to wire them in series like I did here. These are the cells. CALB. I don't know what that is. CALB. Some Chinese writing with like a penis coming out of a vagina. Let's see. There's the serial number, there's the thing, and these are LifePo 3.2, 60 amp hour. They're 65 amp hour, 60 amp hour. And you can just keep an eye. You don't have to go to battery hookups. Is it batteryhookup.com? You can also check out 18650.com. I've been finding a lot of cool shit there as well. A battery hookup is good for like closeouts like this. So we found these are 31 amp hour, 3.2 modules. You wire them in series, you get 12 volts. There's a super cap, 50 volts. Now what I'll do sometimes on a package, I'll get a larger battery box. And again, you can get these from Amazon or who is it? Checker, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, Pet Boys, or even just Amazon. This one I think is the 24F, which is a little small, but Lithium is going to be a little small anyway. But you can make your own lithium capacitor bank hybrid. That's it. That's all it is. So this one would be 31 amp hour, and then you'd have a 50 farad cap. And then you have distribution built in, and you can put this on top, or you can put it inside, however you want to do it. I like it because it has the blue LED displays. This is the, we got this on the Cadence clearance that was through Wholesale House. I got fucking 50 of these and a whole bunch of big amps. Again, they don't make anything. They just put their name on shit. So I don't think I debadged any of that stuff. Cadence at the time was still a pretty high-end brand. So I think I just sold it out and we did okay. I put the whole thing on credit cards. I think that's what I wanted to talk about. But again, back to the Alibaba thing. The Alibaba process, doing samples is easy, okay? You just coordinate with them. You're going to pay a shit ton in air shipping. But if you look at the overall cost of making sure that you're getting what you think you're getting, or if there's a mistake, you want to catch it, it'll iron out in the end. It's not a big deal. But if you're being kind of cheap and you think, oh, I can do a hack and just call and get for samples, 8 out of 10 times you're not going to win, because there's already somebody importing it through Amazon or some other distribution network. So be very careful about that. What's his name? That shithead that was a piece of shit. Nathan. Anyways, he's not on here. Nate Zero was the handle that he went on, and he actually imported 218s. And of course they suck because the FS is too high, the suspension that they use is too high. And a lot of times when China is left to its own problem solving, they go with the problem that gives them the least amount of problems. So that's why a lot of times if you just order the subwoofer, you know, like you go, oh, I just want to order a sample from China, blah, blah, blah. The FS will be high, like a 38 to 40, 45, something like that. Something you can't really use for bass. Because what it does is it allows them to put a huge rating on it, like, you know, oh, this handles 5,000 watts, 3,000 watts, or whatever it is. And it sucks. It's a piece of shit. So, and I have to tell people that bad news all the time. They go, hey, Patrick, I got, you know, Power HX2s from Rockford Fosgate. How can I make them handle, you know, the actual 2,000 watts? Because if you flip it over on the back, it says 2,000 watts max. And people are like, oh, I've been running 2,000 RMS to them all the time. David does that. David Moore over at PSI. He'll put a super stiff suspension on it, or whether it's the surround or the spider or a combination of both. You can't really fit a different or better coil in there without having problems about bottoming out or this and that. You can use copper with a little bit better results, and that's what they used originally in the HX2. If you look at the ones that were made in USA, and I think some of the T2s, I can't remember now. I know the first gen of Power HX2s used copper, and then later they used a softer suspension with an aluminum coil. Not for any performance difference. They made it for. It's good for SPL because it's a lighter MMS, which means it's going to be louder and take more power, but it's not going to play as low. But the way that you compensate that when you use a light coil like that, when you use a light material like aluminum as your conductor, you use a really super soft suspension. And the biggest complaint that I get for the Power and the Punch HX2 guys is they go, hey, this looks like a floppy butthole. It's all soft and tired. And I go, yep, you just got to recone it. And then they go, oh, we want to improve it. I'm like, don't. You just got to put another floppy spider on there, and then you just got to have it for another 20 years, and it's fine. You know, these things wear out. It's like shoes. So in fact, the other day, these are my $20 Walmart shoes, which I fucking love. And I've had these are the longest lasting shoes that I've had over Nikes or anything like that. And the other day, they were starting to hurt my feet a little bit. That's usually when I have to change them, or the funk level in them, usually in the summertime, gets to where I start to get, you know, itchy feet, and I just got to get rid of them. And so these, I just changed out the inserts. The trick with the cheap shoes from Walmart is to buy the insoles, and then you want to find quality insole. Typically they're about $10 a pair. You can find them at Walmart, walmart.com, Amazon. Be careful, because at first I was buying them on Amazon, but you had to buy 2 pair, and I was buying them for like $18 or $19 for 2 pair. And then I found them for like $7 or $8 a pair on Walmart.com. So again, you're actually paying like 50% of the cost of the shoe is the insert. That's ridiculous. Those inserts should not cost that much. Eventually what I want to do is find a good shoe company and then order 100 pair or 500 pair of the shoes that I like, that I want to wear, and then I just have them. I don't have to think about it anymore. They're like, oh, Patrick, that costs you five grand or whatever. And I go, yeah, but I'll have shoes for the rest of my life that I like, and it's fine. I wear 13. I don't care if I sell them. I'm going to use them for me. Those are the kind of cool projects that I want to do. Now, I find out whatever, you know, I go, hey, somebody else likes this. And they go, okay, then we can do an order of whatever, size 12, size 11, whatever you wear. So again, that's all future cool stuff that I want to do with your help. Oh, that's a really good price for a Stinger. $54 for a 200 amp. 500 amp for $89. And of course, I offer the 500 amp for, I think, what, $45? See, I still got them beat. And then the 80 amp. Again, these are probably made by Edge, because these look exactly like the Edge ones. Same with this stuff, same with this stuff. Some of the stuff Edge will, yeah, all that cool stuff. $6, Jesus Christ. Best price I found was on Micro Alarm. And if you buy, I forget how many I used to buy, you get them for $1.25. That's the cheapest I found these. And what I do is I pinch Larry's nuts, and I go, well, look, I can buy these from Micro for $1.25. And then he goes, I'm not making any money. He's making money. He's making money on both ends, and as a matter of fact. But I think I bought out the rest of the hooker ones, which was like 160 pieces that we swap out in the 10 gauge kits. Also the 8 gauge kits, because they offer the mini A&Ls. You guys don't need those. I'll take those. Fit kits. Again, a lot of that stuff you can find on Amazon. Again, is this catalog fun to look at? Yes. It's great. Good toilet reading. I don't really go through it anymore. I still have my Nippon America 22 amp. Which one is this? 5, 12. See, they don't even have mine. There it is. Well, that's Surge continuous 22. This is the dual one. This is from Pyramid. Again, it's not from Pyramid. Pyramid just is the one that sells it. Pyramid is probably the biggest purchaser of these power supplies. Again, made in some factory over in China, and they just put their name on it. Nippon America bought from the same manufacturer, and they were selling a lot of this stuff too. Again, Nippon America is audio pipe, NA, Nippon America. Mine is still running today. I love it. It's 22 amps. It's good for power supply, and it comes with a little current meter on it. And then I added a little voltmeter that I got off of a fuse block that I felt like they weren't going to use the digital voltmeter, so I stole it. And I go, here you go. But that was it. The whole idea behind the debadging is because you're going to run into the same problems of that no matter what, if it's a popular brand that people like, you're not going to make any money on it. Like you can be a dealer, that's fine. But what good is being a dealer if you're not going to make any money? You see what I'm saying? Like you work all day and then you break even. No, you're not going to survive. You need to make a profit. And there needs to be some sort of compensation for your time and your energy. Otherwise you're like, oh yeah, like I found out with Scar. So I applied, we got I sent them the license, all that kind of stuff. They turned on the thing. I was like, okay, I got in there, looked at the pricing, the dealer pricing. Dealer pricing was cheap. The pricing on Amazon was cheaper than the dealer pricing. So that's it. Now, will I still order from them? Maybe. Again, sometimes it's, when a customer wants a specific thing that you need, like some sort of Q-bomb box or something like that, and you don't want to buy a pallet of them or you don't have it in stock, it's good to have more resources. So I don't really know. You can check M&M, but once you get your LLC, the door's open. That's, open sesame. That's what the whole thing about what Alibaba is. It's supposed to open up the east to the west, and you're supposed to be able to get access to all kinds of cool shit. And again, you don't want to consume this stuff. You want to be a groomer, right? You want to go through these and find the gems that you like and that you can figure out, and then turn this into your next to quote Roadhouse, you could be a Friday regular or whatever. That this is your next moneymaker, your next whore, whatever. If you want to be a speaker pimp, this is your next moneymaker, prostitute whore that you sell out to everybody, and then you make a lot of money on it because you're offering a unique product. If you're just offering American base, they can just buy that on Amazon. So you have to offer them something that they can't get anywhere else. And sometimes somebody just shows up to your shop or whatever, or your house or whatever, however you're selling, and they just need to talk to an expert, and that's where you can be the expert. And even if you've only been doing this, like they used to tell us in Cutco, they used to tell us in Excel telecommunications. They would say, even if you've only been doing this a week, you are 1 week more experienced than they are. So you are the expert. So always assume, more than anything, that's just to get you to assume responsibility and be a good person, I guess would be the abbreviation of all that. So I hope that thank you for spending this hour, or it's fucking 45 minutes with me. I don't know. I'll make some more videos about tech stuff. There was, I helped somebody the other day with the JL Audio W6 version 2 conversion, and I want to show it to you guys so that you guys can do it. You don't have to just hit me up, even though it's great, and I'm glad I can help you guys. And if you really want me to touch my dick on your woofer, I will press my penis against your woofer, and that's fine. I'm okay to do that. Just a lot of times for the people that can do it themselves, I want you to do it yourself, and then let me be your connection to China, where I can be an in-between. And a lot of times I can get you better pricing than Lord of Bass and things like that. It's not on everything. In fact, sometimes I I kind of go, well, how is he making any money? Because I know what the price is on, like, say, a dust cap or something like that. It's like $1. And then he's selling it for $4. And I go, he needs to sell that for $6 or $8. And then you look at like PSI, and then, you know, fucking David will sell it for $10. Because David is the hot chick. He's like, if you want this, fucking buy it for me. You're going to pay $10. He's so busy, he doesn't give a shit, which is a really good place to be in. I think it was, real quick, since I got you on the horn here, this was a Pinnacle buyout setup. I went ahead and pulled these apart to just test the individual components. So it's just a little sub, little 10. I think I got this for $20. There was a slight crack that I went ahead and glued. Ugh. Where's it at? There it is. See? A little bit of CA on there. There's no difference between black CA and clear CA, just so you know. It's a marketing gimmick. It doesn't really do what it advertises. Does it do it on a microscopic scale where you can measure with a precision instrument? Yes. In a real world setting? No. So you're paying a premium for black CA, just so you know. This one. I wanted to test this one. This one I got from Goodwill. On the floor it said broken, meaning they sold it. Somebody returned it, and then some salesperson wrote broken on there to let you know, which was a great find for me because they originally sold it for $35. I went up to the manager and said, hey, I could really just use the cabinet. It's a good quality cabinet. I think this is an Onkyo. What is this? Yeah, it's an Onkyo. And it's a down firing sub with a front firing port. So it's just a port. I don't want to buy a band pass. I wanted to just buy a ported box. And I ended up getting it for $5. Have I tested it to see if it works? Not yet. But this amp is super small. No heat sink on it. So it's probably only like 50 watts or 100 watts, which again for home is fine. But what I would do is remove this. If the amplifier is the thing that doesn't work, remove this, and then you can use it for car. You can buy those little car amplifiers I told you about. It's a plate amplifier. The price went up on them. They used to sell them for $24 on Amazon. Now they're up to $30. That's just something I keep in my cart and I monitor these guys. So see, you figure out what the cutout is, and then you put that in there. That's if you want it for car. And then if you want it for home, you can swap out different. See, this is where I pulled the one out of the Jensen, and you sell it on its own. I probably got this whole thing for $10, and then I pull out the amp. The amp works. You find out what it's stable to. You write it on there. So some are 2 ohm stable, some are 4 ohm stable, some are 8 ohm stable. Whatever they are, you just write it on there so you don't go below that. And then you sell it on its own on Facebook or eBay, because people need a replacement, and you're not going to ship the whole thing. That's a fucking disaster waiting to happen. But they just need the replacement thing, and so you just sell that. And then, so let's say the amplifier works on this. I sell the amplifier again. I bought this for $5. I pull the amplifier. I sell the amplifier for $45 shipped, and then now I have a working subwoofer and an enclosure. And then I can find a client that either wants for home audio or car audio. And these deals are everywhere. I found this one the other day. This is a Polk Audio. He's like, there's no subwoofer in here. In fact, he threw in the Sterling Vega, which is it's a good model for me to copy, because I have not. You can probably find everything in China to make an exact copy, which would actually be pretty valuable. But the enclosure itself, I paid like $10. This is a very heavy, well-built enclosure. It has a venting on the back. See down there at the bottom. And a lot of this stuff is just user error. People just don't know what the fuck they're doing. They think it's broken. That happened the other day to one of my resellers. He had brought me a Sundown SFB 2000. And he goes, hey, do you still have that amp? I was like, oh no, I gave it away. And he's like, I think it worked. I was like, oh. See, and so that was on both of us. We both should have tested it on a bench. So, but he like donated it, and I think I gave him like $5 credit or something like that. And, but he's been a good reseller, so we both just kind of learned our lesson on that. So I get free stuff all the time. This is from Hayden. When I first met him, this thing is torched. Somebody wants to buy it, give me $20 and I'll ship it to you. Got all kinds of shit like that. Got all kinds of shit that people just abandon. Where's it out? I wanted to show you. Laura's been cleaning up back here, as you can see. It looks nicer. I got a big shipment in of frames, and then I had to help her come in and grind them all. So those are all ready to go. And then I'm doing prep work on some batteries. I need to find a better thing for this. It just all it does is provide stability. I'm just utilizing what I came from the Super Beast from Battery Hookup. Each one of these is 8 amp hour, 3.2 volts. So 4 in series, that gives you about 13 volts. And then I'm using the copper plates that came with it in a way that I want so that I can get what I want. Basically, you use it like Legos. Somebody was also talking about balancing. I'm like, do you balance, quote unquote balance, when you got 9 AGMs in your truck? Do you balance them? No. Do you need to balance these batteries? No. Oh, one's going to charge it. They're all going to be slightly different. Let's see. I picked this one up. Some kid made this one. It's real thin. I'll probably keep it for me. It's real light duty. I picked up this one for 40 bucks. I'll probably just put some recoils in there and sell the whole thing for, the cost plus double my money. Or actually, I'll sell the enclosure for 100, and then I sell each woofer for 50. So that's 100, 200, 300. Sell it for 300 bucks, and so it makes somebody get really, really happy. Yeah, she's been cleaning up out here. The audio legend Curtis hooked me up on this fire cabinet, which on its own would be probably $800 fire cabinet, but I'm actually going to use it as a lithium battery for UPS for backups, and I'm doing the same thing with this as well. Basically a Tesla Powerwall, and I find a lot of this stuff that's all Tesla does. They put it in a fancy package, and it's just lithium batteries inside. In fact, it's not even lithium iron phosphate. It's just regular LifePo batteries, which don't last very long. Lithium iron phosphate lasts way longer, and that's what I'm looking for, is longevity and payout with an application like that. So, but I got a lot of builds to do this weekend. In fact, I got to do a lot of shipping right now, but I wanted to share this kind of stuff with you so that, again, here's one of the applications that I did with the W6. This is regular 4-spoke frame. The pattern is 127, but it's by 5 instead of by 6. And so you can actually reuse one of the holes, and then you have the other ones. I just use the back-to-back method of a JL frame, and you can line it up with eyeball and get it going. So now this is well vented. The other version that I do is I put spacers in between, and then I use the W7 hardware just to recycle it. You can use quarter 20 hardware from anywhere to give it a little space in between, because I think the spider that I like to use on these is 7-inch from lower to base. It's nice and floppy. This guy, but it's only 7-inch, really small leads. Again, JL people don't really need that because they're sound quality. You go, okay. But the one that I really like to use, and you can add your own leads or you can do sky wires straight into the cone, is this little guy that I got from the concept buyout. So it's just a single layer, 2.5 inch. You got to trim it to 2 3/4, whatever it is, but it goes 8 inch. 8 inch is the size on the W6 10 inch. And then I think the 12 inch goes a little bit bigger. Not that you get any more excursion, it's just bigger. Again, it's a misuse of resources, but JL did it, and they lock you into this dumb thing where the leads are on both sides, or on one side. The way that I got around this to add a little more excursion was to add this little spacer, this little plastic spacer. So now it'll be on the top landing to give the most excursion. And then I just use lower to base. I think this is the old sundown cone. Okay. And then I use the 180 millimeter dust cap, concave. Boom. Look at that. Ooh, baby. And then you put the old Jizz Llama sticker on it. There you go. And then you sell it for $300 because they're going for $900 now. So that's what I do. That was it. I'll let you guys go. I love you. Have a great, happy Easter weekend. I hope this video gave you plenty of information and it's inspiration to go and do your own thing. Help other people. at all times. Was it trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. You can be all those things, and it will definitely set you apart from your peers. And be brave when you start to see that tear happen, because you'll find out that the world is shit and it's corrupt as fuck, and you have to decide which realm you're going to live in. And what you end up finding out is that you can be a really good person, but you have to go underground. You have to kind of disappear, and you have to be okay with that. And it's very lonely being super successful and a good person. You're not going to have a lot of friends, because most people are corrupt, and most people choose violence, choose to bully other people, including fucking local cops, which I was going to tell you, but I'll tell you another story about that. Some local cop fucking harassed me. And even just, people on Facebook or whatever it is. And so the dipshit's there. But don't let that stop you from your dreams. Follow your heart. Listen to that still small voice. Oh, listen to that still small voice, unless it tells you something different than your church does. We watched after we watched the Brooke Shields thing last night on Hulu, we watched the, I think it was like Former Mormon or Mormon No More or something like that. It's about people that find out in their 30s that they're gay, and then they leave the church. And so again, and they find happiness, and they find that joy that people talk about and describe when you're in love with somebody. And it was really great. And I think there's more episodes on the series that we haven't watched, but again, it's so difficult just to be yourself and have people accept you for who you are. And you don't have to be like gay to live in the club. You can just, like, for me, it was just about being me. And when growing up, I was not allowed to be me, whether I was too pussy or too big, whatever it is. Nobody's going to fit in that little thing, that unless you shut the fuck up and do what you're told, and you don't make any waves, and you don't want anything for yourself. What kind of life is that, though? Right? I'd rather die standing than live on my knees, and that's my decision. So, and I would love to see you join me. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Have a good weekend.